Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Since we're in this Groundhog Day stasis with respect to COVID, let's go back and look at your countrymen there, Amy, the Swedes. In December, no mandatory measures were taken to limit crowds on public transport and shopping malls or in other crowded places. Coronavirus testing, contact tracing, source identification, and reporting were limited, remain inadequate, was the criticism of Sweden at the time. High schools closed temporarily. Grade schools never did.
Never.
And the predictions as to the consequences of Sweden's light touch approach, 96,000 deaths with a maximum of 183,000.
That's for a country of 12 million, by the way.
So compare this to Illinois. Sweden's Lund University used the now infamous Imperial College London model. It meant 85 deaths for Sweden. Uppsala University suggested that 40,000 by May 1 and almost 100,000 by June. Total Swedish COVID deaths to date, 14,651. Despite the variant, no lockdowns, no daily COVID deaths.
Yep.
No daily COVID deaths.
Oh, yeah, for a while now. Their hospitalization rate and the death rate, well, there is no death rate because there's no COVID deaths. And the 14,000 that you mentioned, compared to Illinois, we have, 26,000 deaths here. But in Sweden, they're mostly, those most vulnerable, people in nursing homes and assisted living, because they're not like the states here. Their assisted living places and nursing homes have hundreds of people. They're huge facilities. And
they're also more ubiquitous than they are in some of their Scandinavian neighbors, which was one of the reasons that they ran a little bit ahead of Norway and Denmark. But here's the thing. Anders Tegnell, who's the state's top epidemiologist in Sweden, he's the Dr. Fauci there, basically said, hey, look, we could have done a better job. We should have done a better job protecting the high-risk people in nursing home or assisted living facilities. So that was one area where we recognized we needed to improve. But again, that sort of modesty is absent in much of the West. By the way, Sweden's vaccination rate, which certainly is contributing to the lower caseload and to the no deaths, but in terms of Europe, it's right in the middle of the pack. It's 18th in Europe in total vaccinations. And yet producing those results. It's interesting. And back here, we're, as we've been discussing most of the morning, we're in the throes of talking about not just mask mandates, but vaccine mandates, and even the L word being resurgent lockdowns.
Yeah, they're not ruling it out, folks.
And yet those mandates are for thee, but not for me in certain quarters. For example, flight attendants and teachers unions. Some of the minders of masks and vaccines, in terms of you put your mask over your nose and get vaccinated if you want to ride this ride, well, they're exempting themselves through their unions. An interesting piece, realclearinvestigations.com by Steve Miller, journalist Steve Miller, who also writes for the Texas Monitor. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Morning. So tell us about flight attendants and teachers, who are categorically heroes in this country, we're told.
Well, what's probably the most important is that they're trying to impose these restrictions on, respectively, in airlines and in classrooms, and yet some of their collective bargaining agreements actually prohibit a mandatory vaccination plan for them, for the members of the unions, and they're very strident about this. Flight Association sends out a memo, strikes a deal with United, ensuring that its members won't be required to take the vaccination. In the letter to its members, the Flight Attendant Union states 3 times that this is not a requirement, not mandatory that you take this vaccine. On the teachers union, same thing. They strike deals in L.A. Public schools. The teacher union struck a deal to again ensure that the kids wear masks, but that the teachers are not required to take the vaccination.
And it's so strange because the teachers union here, they try to mandate them for vaccines, and they said no. But the teachers union want to mandate vaccines for our kids, and they're demanding 80% be vaccinated who can before the school year begins.
Right. That's right. And so that's part of that. The thing, it just seems all teachers would get vaccinated if this is their concern. They shouldn't be able to refuse vaccination and then claim their work is unsafe due to unmasked kids.
Well, here's the thing, too, as you heard from President Biden yesterday, he wants local, state and local units of government, as well as private companies. He wants them to go in the direction of vaccine mandates, but I didn't hear any mention of public sector unions or even private sector unions like flight attendants union going in that direction. It seems like there is a union exemption from the commentary by left politicians as well as the press corps.
That could be, and it would be very simple to get flight attendants. You could probably require attendants to get vaccinated if it's a FAA requirement, a federal requirement. Rather easier to do than redo collective bargaining agreements. I think you just simply get that done, and they wouldn't have as much to complain about regarding their when they go through the cabin thing. We're going to do a safety and mask check, or anybody that's flown knows how they harass you.
And it's even to the point you mentioned in your piece that American Airlines and Southwest, they do not require their flight attendants or other employees to vaccinate. The association, the union, struck this agreement to allow unvaccinated members specifically to fly. So not only not mandating it, but then the specific carve-out.
That's right. And it does seem that, I guess, if there's crew members, and part of that it said the crew members who are unable to get vaccinated for valid medical reasons, they probably shouldn't have a job where they're flying with strangers every day. That's probably not a great idea, regardless of COVID.
Yeah, and teachers who don't want to be around kids because of fear of getting sick, they should find a new job too.
Same thing.
Solar panels.
Right. And I mean, we've got plenty of jobs. So it would seem that would be time for a career change for some of these people. But that union protection really extends and it imposes lots of restrictions on the rest of us.
Well, I suppose the Randy Weigartens of the world would just say, well, that's the benefit of being a member of a union. What we need is more unionization in this country so everybody could enjoy the benefits of being a union member.
I suppose that would be a recruitment technique, wouldn't it?
And with respect to the schools, I mean, again, there's two issues, it seems to me. One is whether it's a good idea to be vaccinated, whether it's somehow dangerous to fly or to be in a classroom if you're unvaccinated. And there's very little evidence to support that's true. Even if you think it's a good idea on balance, there's just not evidence to say this puts you in a high-risk position. There's just no evidence to support that. And then there's the secondary issue where you have the federal government, the President of the United States, calling for mandates, but not with respect to unions. And those issues seem to be conflated a little bit, but I just wanted to separate them out.
Yeah, it is, but it's again, no matter how you feel about the vaccine and so on, I guess that's a separate issue. But yes, no matter what, you should probably be able to, you shouldn't have a carve out for a public union. And also, in the 3 days since this article has been published, we've seen more and more school districts now just moving to impose mask mandates in classrooms for this fall, and it's just the way it's gone, and I'm not sure where the end comes.
What's the union's response? What do they say? Well, wait a second. If you think this is a good idea, if you want this to be imposed on customers or students, then why wouldn't you want to lead by example? What's the response?
Well, that's interesting because we tried to reach out to both of those major unions that were part of this story, and just zero response, just nothing. They just don't want to talk about that. It's probably a question they don't get asked very often.
Yeah, well, they're so shocked by it, they don't know. Maybe I assume they're still reviewing the data and the science with their experts. That's always a good wave off to push off any answer to any question, right?
Yeah, right. We'll get back with you. Yeah.
Well, do you think all this? There's one out of 5 flight attendants said yesterday that they witnessed or have been part of a physical altercation, since masking began. What role do you think masking has in not giving people food or water or, alcoholic beverages on planes. What role do you think that has in this?
Well, I mean, you do notice that they cut back alcohol and so on, and the aggression. I think people are more worried about, a mask slip that would result in an arrest or this exorbitant fine that some places are imposing, and it creates a lot of tension. And so, when you have somebody running through the cabin at all times, kind of policing this, it gets a little weird. And with regard to the food and everything, I mean, I think I just read that some of the airlines are now bringing back food and so on.
Well, United is, but just flights to Hawaii, which that's nice of them for a 10-hour flight, and 3 locations in California, and that's it. It's a trial basis.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. They're going to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, they'll have to let the mask slip for the food at least,
And of course, there's some variance too. I mean, I sat next to a flight attendant waiting to board a plane in Columbus the other weekend, and she got the joke. I mean, so they're human beings too. So there's a diversity of opinion. We're talking about sort of writ large at the union level from a policymaking perspective, but it's not like there's not a lot of flight attendants and even teachers that understand the hypocrisy and the silliness of it all. They're just, following orders, as it were. But one other point, though, too, and I don't want to limit just the flight attendants, the pilots also have union, and they've got a carve-out as well, as I understand from your piece.
That's right. Yeah, the pilots union has also been part of this, the urging of these of the masking. And although I'm not sure the pilots are nearly as involved in contact as the flight attendants, so they don't even really seem to have much of a beef. Plus, they're upfront. I mean, they can take off their masks. I'm sure they don't wear their masks when they fly.
Yeah, I just make sure
that they need to communicate.
Right. I mean, but when I'm deplaning and they say bye-bye, I want to make sure they're at least 6 feet away with a mask on, because that's an important interaction.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
It's such a meaningful part of any airline experience. He is Steve Miller. He's a journalist for RealClearInvestigations.com as well as the Texas Monitor. Check out his piece, Flight and Teachers Unions. Masks for thee, no mandatory vaccinations for we. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hi, it's Terry Melodic. Insurance agents prepare policies, but at Heil & Heil, we deliver great rates with expert personalized service for home, auto, business, and life. Get a free no-obligation review of your current policy today at heilandheil.com. That's HeilandHeil.com. Or call us at 847-866-7400 and discover why we've been a Chicago institution for over 100 years.
All right. As you know, Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their life, but he didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Oh, no. Mike's now changing the game with his 6-piece towel set. And those can be expensive, but this set is made with USA cotton. It's extremely absorbent and soft and still provides that feel and look that you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths, which typically retail for $109. And guess what? For a limited time, you can get this set for the low price of $39.99, but you have to use promo code Amy. Just go to MyPillow.com, and you can see an array of different colors for the MyPillow towel set. And again, when you check out, type in AMY in that promo code, and voila, from $109 to $39. And don't forget, all MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-489-0201, 800-489-0201, or online to MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson. Let me tell you about my good friends over at BBQAuthority.com. They're the very best in the barbecue business, hence the name Authority. They're veteran-owned and like-minded people who love a good barbecue, just like you and me. And they're also helping make our cigar night with Dennis Prager possible. So support this company, people. You've got to see the unbelievable backyard setups they have. Check them out online at bbqauthority.com or visit their Lisle showroom at 1704 Ogden Avenue. top brands, a huge selection are in stock, ready to ship to your backyard, your patio, or your deck right now. Go to bbqauthority.com for grills, kitchen sets, rubs, sauces, tools. They are your online source for all things barbecue. Use my promo code Sean, that's SHAUN, for 10% off. Shipping is absolutely free with all orders above $50. Ignite your passion and log on to bbqauthority.com.
All right, about to do it. Take the balance of nature. And for those of us who are going on a road trip, don't take a break from your health. Bring balance of nature with you, because you know on those road trips or when you travel to see loved ones, you probably are not going to eat a well-balanced diet. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 6 capsules a day, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. I'm telling you, I've been coaching all week in a hot gym, no air conditioning, 67 kids. And if I didn't have Balance of Nature, I don't know if I can make it through the day, because it is hot and you need to have your energy. And you're always around those kiddies, so you want to have a strong, healthy immune system. And that's why I take Balance of Nature. The number to call, 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Be sure to use discount code Chicago. Newbies get free shipping and 35% off your first preferred order. Or go online to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
You spent a long time tucked into your home, tucked in